Gerbigly!
Hey there guys and gals, it's Gerbigly with another episode of Gaming with Gerbigly, and I'm once again playing the game Katawa Shoujo. Now last episode, we had a very in-depth conversation with Kenji. We found out that he's actually not that bad of a guy, he's just kind of insane. He's like this nutsoid conspiracy theorist. We also decided to go over and talk to Hanako, because we noticed that she was working alone, and we wanted to see sort of what the deal was with that. So we're getting to know her right now, and let's go ahead and find out more about her. Hanako nods again. What about her? Don't they get along? So, and by the way, Hanako seems very nervous, or at least, or maybe possibly afraid of Shizune. So we're trying to figure that out as well. Hanako shakes her head. Clearly this is something she doesn't want to talk about. It does make a strange sort of sense. Shizune and Lily not getting along so well. And that's another reason too right there, is Lily and Shizune for some reason are butting heads and they don't really get along, probably because of some power-hungry, class representative thing. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. Oh, that would do it too. I guess I wasn't thinking outside the box. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha, even when you can see those whose hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I'm the first to notice Lily at the door. Oh, she's here now. Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lily, she moves quickly to the door. Lily! Ah, Hanako. Good morning. Is the president here? Yes. Hanako glances over her shoulder at Shizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's impossible. I suppose we'd best be off then. Lily's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there's some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but that's not really something I'd ask about. I'm sure if they wanted me to know, they would have told me. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out why people are enemies. Still, it's a little funny to find out that the school has little feuds, just like my old high school. Well, duh, man, it's high school. It's all drama all the time. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get on each other's nerves. Hey Lily, how are things? I'm sorry I made you run off yesterday. Oh my, is that Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. It seems that Lily is a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me. Sorry Lily, I thought you realized. No, it's alright Hanako. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so, I'm still working this place out. Well then, I think you'll find most people here a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. I think that's a typo. So obviously people there are more forgiving than elsewhere. If you're feeling a little confused, please don't be afraid to ask questions. Sure, I'll remember that. Lily? Lily gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. Hanako really doesn't look all that comfortable here right now, and Lily still seems a little embarrassed. I wonder if my apologies really made an impact. Mind if I accompany you two? Uh-oh. I know I'm kind of pushing it, but Lily hums quietly, still smiling. I'm sure that we could accommodate you, can't we, Hanako? Uh-oh. What are we doing? It's gonna be awkward. She looks at Lily, then at me, and then she freezes, wide-eyed. Sure. Aw. Well then, shall we go? Aw, Hanako is so cute. She's like super timid. I'm sure Lily wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but can't be helped now. Declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. Ah, God, that photo every time, or that painting, every single time. It looks so weird. So we leave, all three together. Lily walks beside the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes along right beside her, so close that she's practically half-hugging her as they go. Aw. Although it must make her walking that much harder, Lily takes it in stride. As we turn around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Hanako shrieks a little and my vision briefly goes black. Uh-oh. Oh, man, my heart gave out. Ouch! Oh, nope, it's a person. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. Oh, she's like Oscar Pistorius, except hopefully without the murder. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down onto the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More strikingly than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Or she does, but they're not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs and in shins and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. I really like that it has this sort of cinematic viewpoint right now that is sort of like zooming in and panning and things like that. It adds like a sense of immersion. I really, really enjoy it. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up.
Oh man! Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry.
She looks really apologetic. She's looking really apologetic in the hurt puppy kind of... I can't even speak. In the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. It's okay, don't worry about it. Ouch. I also got the burpees. Uh-oh, my heart beat. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself, don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. Damn, uh-oh. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. Oh man, Hisao, no, dude! Don't black out now. It seems normal. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, her face changed.
Hey, should I get a nurse?
The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. Oh, cool, I gave her the right voice, too. I always wonder if I'm giving them the right voice, and then it will be like, the deep baritone of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ah, shit. So it's very good that, like, 3 out of the 4 characters we've met so far I've given the right voice to. I stare at her for a few seconds dumbfounded until I realize that I probably look worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need, I'm fine. I don't think it's overly worried, dude. You could drop dead instantly if you aren't careful, so that's not really overly worried at all. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and taking a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me, big time, but it's nothing more than that.
You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard.
It's okay, I said it was fine and nothing's broken, no harm done.
That's good, I was...
Oh, whoa, it came in out of nowhere.
So,
what happened? She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounds very worried. More than what the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me, nothing serious, just winded.
Sorry, it's my fault. I was just going to get some stuff, and I was in kind of a hurry.
That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl coughs quietly and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything.
Hi, Lily. Hanako.
I guess the girls know each other.
Do please try to be more careful. You might be sturdy enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are people who aren't.
The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. Aw, don't make her feel bad. She already said sorry. It's so cute. I find myself smiling.
I know that. I was just... I gotta go. Teacher, I'll have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I was running instead. Sorry, but I've got to change everything.
Aw. Before any of us can say a thing, Emmy has already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Look at Hanako's face. That's awesome. Hopefully my face cam isn't blocking it, because it's epic. Does that kind of thing happen often around here?
There are more rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors. But that really stops Emmy, it seems.
She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight composed smile.
I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we be off then?
Well, for obvious reasons she wants to run. It's, her overcoming her own disability, which is really cool. Lily heads off along the hallway, and Hanako hurries after her. Not her disability, the fact that she's overcoming it. I would never be like, that's an awesome disability. Like, it's amazing that it impairs you every day. The rest of the room the two use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Lily and Hanako quickly go about the business of making lunch. Before I can even open my small bag of food, Lily's busying herself with her thermos and tea bags as Hanako is setting out both their lunch boxes. So, is this what you meant by coming here almost every day?
Yes, Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly.
After seeing Hanako's reactions to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last after Lily's poured the tea for us and sit down. The more time I spend with these two girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil to Misha and Shizune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met.
So, how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seemed a bit flustered before.
I'm so sorry, by the way, for all the reading issues this episode, guys. I just woke up a little while ago. I accidentally slept in, so my head is sort of buzzing still, but I'll do my best to make it through without too many more. Apart from getting lost every now and then... and I just already did it. Apart from getting lost every now and again, and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess.
You looked pretty hurt before. Are you really okay?
For a brief moment, I considered telling Hanako and Lily about my condition, but then I hold it back. I can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled. Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think that they're buying it. But in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. I guess that is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things that they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. So, how long have you been in this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well. Oh, this is, by the way, like, this artwork is so good. Like, I know this is basically just the same as the last time Lillian and Hisao met, but the addition of Hanako there in the foreground, just, it looks so good. This is a really awesome aesthetic.
Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did. Memory serves me right. That's right, since high school.
So you've known each other since then?
Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right.
Aw, yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in it as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It sounds like he's actually a pretty thoughtful guy. I like it. Like, he said a couple careless things, but it's because the world is so new and strange to him. So I do have to cut him a break about, like, you know, the insensitive things he said, because he's really consciously trying his best to be, you know, sensitive and absolutely immersed in part of this world that he's been thrown into. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of the break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out.
I guess I'd better be off. Are you going to go with Hisao, Hanako?
Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she is considering skipping class, maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me.
Yes.
I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in the wrong way. It makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can.
We should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it.
Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane, Hanako and I following out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns towards me.
Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today.
My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways, Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off on our own, to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now?
Yes.
Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. So she must have some sort of special permission or unwritten rule that she's allowed to do things as she sees fit. I wonder why. I'm so curious. Her storyline seems so deep and interesting. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. I wonder if it's some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of the school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there's a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. At least he's not insulting their intelligence. That's better, I guess. I mean, it's probably hard to keep up if you're not that smart in class, but, you know, he's not, like, talking down to them. It's odd. At the hospital, I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Muto is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ballpoint pen. Reading is so hard, I'm sorry. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I'd do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he's holding and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No, I considered joining a club, but don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Excuse me, guys, I got the burpees. Ugh. They are really bubbling up right now. Okay, damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they're blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako. It's not like you can ignore her face. But, whoa! I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. Whoa, it's Misha!
Teacher!
Misha crashes in, hands straight, in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Muto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Mikado. Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong, but has no idea what.
Yes?
We have talked about volume control before.
Yes.
But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So, what is it?
We need help. We're running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress.
She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that?
Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little, but that time we just took it and went with that. Now there's like none left, so do you know where there is some?
Oh my god. Guys, I gotta end the episode soon because my reading is like... This is what I get for like staring at a computer screen all day. I don't understand. How would I know?
Shi-chan, the president, thought that a teacher would know if there's plywood. Was she wrong?
Muto looks like he's in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any.
What should I do?
Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomoya? Or Nomiya? I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold dead hands, but that's a different matter.
I don't have time. We're so busy.
She holds her head with both her hands, looking as despairingly as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair.
I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do and we're falling behind the schedule.
Muto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I wonder if you could get some temporary help. And I have a feeling I know what that means, but we're going to save that for next time to find out exactly what Muto is getting at. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, share the video, and favorite it. Also, be sure to subscribe to me if you guys haven't already. For those of you who have, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the best in the world. I love every single one of you, and as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I do wish that this game had more enemy variety as far as like their attack patterns. Like maybe some would shoot back, maybe some would like circle around when they move and attack you or something. I don't know. Holy crap, I'm basically insane. Holy crap, let's just do this. Yeah, spitting coffee beans everywhere. Haha, stain that paper forever.